Hi, church. As we prepare for this Sunday's congregational meeting to approve our HVAC installer, we have been learning a lot of really helpful information that I want to make sure passes on to you, the congregation, specifically regarding questions on energy usage and maintenance. A lot of people have asked us some questions, and so I want to get that information to you about those topics. So the first regarding energy usage, as you know, we are a creation justice church, and so we have made a commitment to consider sustainability in all the decisions that we make. In our covenant as a church, we talk about how we are committed to living in harmony with all creation, and that is an important value for so many in the congregation. And the reality with an HVAC system is that it's going to have some sort of carbon footprint in some way, and so I want to give you some of those details. The first is that the energy usage for this system, if we were to run it for 4 hours a week for the 3 hottest months of the year, it would produce about 3,670 kilowatt hours. And it only takes an hour before the service starts that we need to run the system in order to have a sufficient cool down period. And so that's why 4 hours gives us some time for special events through the week as well. So 3,670 kilowatt hours at 31 cents an hour, we're looking at $1,137 in annual electricity costs to run the HVAC system. And so that is something that we can very much put into the budget. And so that's $1,137 is the energy usage we're looking at. Now, in terms of carbon footprint, so for the AC portion of the HVAC system, that's going to produce 1.6 metric tons of carbon each year. As a frame of reference, a vehicle produces 4.6 metric tons of carbon. Estimates on someone giving up meat for a year is a person would save 3 metric tons. And so always as part of this process, we want to have us as a church and as individual members of our congregation be really committed to continuing to make corporate and individual choices that is going to offset the energy usage that we use as a church and as individuals. And so 1.6 metric tons can be offset for 2 years by one person making a lifestyle choice to give up red meat. But we want to encourage people also to think about solar in their homes or electric vehicles or xeriscaping. What are ways that you can carpool or etc. So we want those commitments to be made both corporately as individually, and that is a really important value for our church, that even with an installation of an HVAC system, we want to continually be thinking of ways that we can incorporate new technologies in the future or even right now that can help reduce our footprint. In other ways as well. But something also that I've just learned this week that I think is really exciting is several people had mentioned to us about heat pumps and heat pump technology. And so speaking with our engineering firm that put together the designs for this system, we learned that what we are installing is a heat pump. And what a heat pump does is it allows heating to occur in addition to cooling without using natural gas, and so reducing fossil fuel usage in that way. So what you may not know is that we currently have a boiler system. It's kind of an antiquated system. Heat rises through the floor. Our boiler system is constantly breaking. You didn't know this, but it broke Friday right before our journey to Bethlehem on Sunday, and so we had to have a company out for an emergency work order that Saturday to make sure there was heat in the sanctuary, and so our boilers are often breaking down. This HVAC system is going to give us a backup for that, or it can even, if we decide as a church, become our primary source of heat. So I think there's some discussion about that. And what a heat pump does, as I said, is it allows us to not rely on natural gas. And so there was actually an article today, thank you to Rita Dixon for pointing that out to me, that it was an opinion piece that said why we all need to move toward heat pumps in our homes. Because something like a boiler system, its efficiency is about 95%, this article says, but a heat pump, or 95%, but something like a heat pump can raise it up to 220, 550% efficiency. And so it is really exciting to know that our system is going to be a heat pump. And so that's going to allow us to actually decrease our carbon footprint and our reliance on fossil fuels. And so I think that's really important to know as well, that this is not only a cooling system, but it's allowing us to stay ahead of the curve in terms of heating as well. Another question folks have asked is about maintenance costs. And so we have a contract drawn up with the vendor for ongoing maintenance. A maintenance visit is going to cost $750, maximum of 4 visits per year, so that would come out to $3,000. Just as a frame of reference, our 2 most recent capital campaigns, we raised funds in 2001 for the installation of an elevator. That elevator cost was about $750,000, and the ongoing maintenance is about $5,000 to $6,000 a year for the elevator. Before that was the installation of the organ, so that was a $1.1 million project in 1995 dollars. In today's dollars, that'd be about $2.1 million. Ongoing maintenance cost for that is around $4,000 to $5,000 in tuning and maintenance, in addition to bigger projects for the organ. Thankfully, we have an endowment that allows us to care for the organ, but sometimes those bigger projects, someone was funding those at the rate of $20,000 a year. So maintenance costs on the HVAC system is going to be significantly less, $3,000 a year for maintenance on that system. So wanted to let you know some of these updates and information that we've received, that we are actually going to be installing a heat pump, which I think is really exciting now that I'm learning more about that technology, and just to share with you about our overall footprint and our ongoing commitment to sustainability as a church and as individuals. Thank you so much, everyone. See you on Sunday. Bye-bye.